What's going on, guys? Welcome to another video. It's your boy Narik Chase, and I have with me joining me for this episode of the Streamline Podcast, Madam B.
Hi.
Wow.
Hello.
All right, then. This is episode 63 of the Streamline Podcast, and in this episode, we are going to be talking about actors and actresses when they should switch their roles up because a lot of actors and actresses tend to play the same roles. Like when they should stick with it, when they should change it.
Mm-hmm.
All right, now there is a lot. There are a lot of actors and actresses, and I can understand generally you would play the same role because you're good at it. But I think sometimes like all actors and actresses need to diversify their stuff. If you come into the game doing action roles, after about 5 movies of action, go to comedy, go to drama, diversify it. If you come in with comedy, same thing. It's about 5, 6 movies, diversify it.
Well,
Uh,
sometimes they can have like a, you know, more lined up along the way. I wouldn't say not after five, but after a while, you should know when it's time to like switch up. And then,
Cause like
yeah.
like Jason Statham, that's what makes it hard when he's playing characters. Cause he's not. He's one of those when he's playing in a movie, he's playing the same person every movie that he plays.
Mm.
He always playing this like tough guy that has like this accent. It's got this, that knows how to fight and kick butt and stuff. Every movie, even with the Meg, I like the fact that the Meg is him not fighting people. He has to deal with this giant shark, and that changes up the dynamic a lot. But it's still the same Jason Statham. Like there's a lot of actors that we see like when they're on the screen, it's hard to see the character that they're trying to portray because a lot of times they end up. Biggest example, Samuel Jackson.
Mm-hmm.
Every movie he plays the same
Well,
character.
I was finna name him. I thought he kind of switched it up a little bit.
No, he does from time to time, but most of the time you watch him, it's him. If you're watching the part from when we was watching Pulp Fiction, the part where he with the white dudes and they shot
Mm-hmm.
him and stuff, it wasn't no different than when he played in the movie Negotiator, or I think that's the name of the movie. What's the one movie he with the guy from American Pie?
What about Black Snake Moan? Snakes on a plane, just same thing.
Same thing. Yes, there are kind of different aspects to him because it seems like he's not acting. It seems like he's acting. He's himself. Even RoboCop, the little cameo that he had in the freaking movie, it was Samuel Jackson. Although
Okay.
I did like him in Black Snake Moan, but it wasn't like you saw him like break down and cry or something like that. And because like Will Smith's another. He's a good actor. Very diverse. He does comedy, drama, romance, action. He does all of that stuff. But I think he's to the point now. Like whenever you see, especially in action stuff, when you see him on screen, you don't see that character. You see, like to me, I think it would help him out if he like played a role. He was like an alien or something.
Okay.
But think about even the older stars. Why a lot of the stuff that they're doing now, the '80s action guys, they're not into nothing good. The only one I could say
Like
that's
Harrison Ford.
Harrison, like Harrison Ford, he's kind of still doing it. Even though like the whole Indiana Jones 5 thing, no, they should have ended it with 4. 4 was like kind of like a passing of the torch, like kind of like a last adventure movie.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, there wasn't no need. After that one, kind of like Arnold, John Claude Van Damme, Sylvester Stallone. Sylvester Stallone man is still managing to make. I don't know because he's still doing this thing like he's like young, and I'm like, come on now, no.
Yeah, like you said about Sylvester Stallone, right?
What?
When you said he plays the same character. Well, I just in like every moody, in every movie, it's like how they come up with that thing. He losing someone, or he lost his wife, or someone's kidnapped his daughter, and then it goes from there. it's like every movie he play in, that's something like that happens. I don't like that.
Liam Neeson's like that.
Yeah.
And one thing about Liam Neeson is a lot of roles he plays like authoritative, like people that know stuff. You don't see him play a role where he's just like this guy that's in this situation and he's scared and stuff like that. And that's what we need to see. That's because think about it. When he played in Nonstop, The Gray, the Taken series, uh, Star Wars. What was the other movie? Something to the Tombstones, or something like that. A Walk Amongst the Tombstones, something like that.
Mm.
And then I think the movie after that, he all of them the same. He was like this guy that knew how to kick butt. He was like knew a lot of stuff. Like he was an agent, something like a secret. And almost all of them, he was like a secret agent to
Mm-hmm.
some extent. And he knew it all. He was very knowledgeable and all. Like that's what I mean. Like I was thinking about Angela Bassett. I'm like, she's a fantastic actress, but a lot of roles that she plays is what these typically like business, like very prominent women.
Hmm.
Think about like how Stella got a groove back. She's in this new television show now, where she's this cop. She was in the movie Supernova. She's been in a lot of movies. I'm barely touching them.
Yeah.
But she's always played like these strong women. You don't see her like playing roles where she's vulnerable. I mean, some yeah, because in what's the movie with Biggie Smalls? They made about Biggie Smalls.
Yeah.
Like that one, she was still kind of like that, but you can still see her kind of. She's like this struggling mom. So it was like kind of fit the Angela Bassett in more a little bit, but and of course you got people like Angelina Jolie, strictly action, but she's diverse too. One of the few movies I've seen her play, and I was like, that's not Angelina Jolie. That's actually the character. Remember we were watching the movie Changeling,
Mm-hmm.
and the woman's son came up missing, and she was trying to get her son back.
Mm-hmm.
That was one of the few movies, and I was like, okay, that's not
Well, you
her.
should watch Gia, Original Sin. That has Angelina Jolie, and I think she did really good in those two. Her and Antonio Banderas. You let me see. You didn't see action up in there. It was like a drama, but you saw, you know, how her eyes get, when she cried, her nose get all wide. You saw a lot of that. You saw like it really is a really really touched me. Really good movies.
Mm-hmm. Who else is another? Like Jennifer Lawrence is another one, but she's diverse too, because you see her in a lot of actiony type stuff. Like The Hunger Games is one where it's okay. She's action, but she's also vulnerable. She goes through the motions throughout the entire series. So that's one of the ones that I actually liked her in. Even in X Men, she kicks butt, but she has vulnerability throughout the entire series that she's playing in. So, and I like that about her because a lot of the movies she plays in, she isn't just she isn't just full on action. She just what I'm saying.
Mm.
She's got a lot of range in her. Scarlett Johansson is another one of the ones. Is like she's playing too many action roles. Uh, Remember we watched that Alien movie?
Yeah.
That mimics how she played in Lucy. How she played in I watched that what was that the Japanese movie she played in? Everybody got mad that she was going to play in it.
I know what you're talking about.
Ghost in the Shell.
Yeah.
That's how she acted in Ghost in the Shell too. She always plays either this like kick butt. I don't say buck, kick butt action role, or like just really like. Now I haven't seen all of her stuff. I hadn't seen half her stuff, but from what I have seen of her is always one of the ones I've seen in it that she was something different was in that movie Don John, where she kind of played this like really like beautiful woman that knew that she looked good and she was trying to mess with Joseph Gordon-Levitt's character to do what she wanted. So that was a bit different for her. But most of the time you see her as basically Black Widow, and
Mm-hmm.
almost in most of the action movies and stuff like that. Um, I'm gonna get that. So talk about your boy Kevin Hart.
What? I mean, he plays in goofy roles. He's funny sometimes, but yeah, and like in every movie, he has to be the
The
like the
loudmouth
yeah,
idiot.
like the class clown of it all.
Mm-hmm. I can understand. Okay, that's how he got the prominence, but still, it's like every movie you play in. Think about when he was in what was it? Think Like a Man. He was in both the movies. He was a total idiot,
Yeah,
especially the second one.
and he did like the the woman that he was with. What was she all? Was she tall or just fat?
That was Wendy.
He oh yeah. So I'm like,
Wendy
come on,
Williams or whatever her name is.
Wendell.
But it's like, cause um,
And even now, even the you can see it now in the new and upcoming actors and actresses. What's her name?
which one?
The one who's always loud and
Oh, Tiffany Haddish.
yeah,
She every movie I've seen her in, she's played a loudmouth, just stupid ghetto hood chick. That's just stupid for
yeah,
no reason.
over and over sexualizing things. I
And
don't like that. And right now, that's the last thing that we need. I don't know what you say
th-
about we.
this is my thing. The first movie I noticed her in was Keanu. She wasn't like that. Yeah, she acted hood, but she wasn't like loud and over sexual. Like she, and that's the weird thing. She acted hood, but she wasn't acting the way she acts now.
Mm.
I still don't understand that whole thing with the whole girls' night where she pissed on everybody. I still don't understand that skit. In fact, yeah, she hit a dude in the head with a bottle, didn't go to jail. Pissed on a whole crowd of people, didn't go to jail. I do not like her just because she picks stupid roles. Think about like Monique. A lot of
Mm-hmm.
times she can be dramatic. Everybody knows that.
Yeah.
But the problem is a lot of roles she plays what?
Hood.
A fat loudmouth hood chick. So it's like, okay, when do you are you supposed to diversify your your acting performance? Because I would like to see a lot of these actors, and a lot of them, I'm black. A lot of black actors and actresses tend to act in nothing but either dramas, comedies, or like urban movies. They don't
Mm-hmm.
never really branch out for that. That's one reason I like Will Smith because Will Smith can. No, Will Smith no don't really do urban movies like that. I think the closest thing I could think of with him was he's one of those actors that stepped out of doing that stuff, but now you see him in. He was in the Wild Wild West. He was in a western, a weird western,
Yeah.
uh, sci-fi, romance, comedy. He adventure. He's been in all of that stuff. Supernatural. So he's been in all of that stuff. And I want to see more actors kind of branch out to that. Look at Melissa McCarthy. Same thing with her. Every time she gets in the mood, what she act like? She this quick talking, uh, like bumbling idiot. If she's not like this like sarcastic jackass, she's just bumbling idiot.
Mm-hmm.
Either in either movie. So like with her, like I said, she ruined it for me when I first seen her in Tammy. She got all this praise from all these other movies, and I saw the one movie she fucking sucked in. Oh, what? You looking at me like that for?
I'm waiting for you to continue so I can
I'm
give
waiting. I'm waiting for you.
so I can give you some back feed.
Some back feed. Is that feedback?
Mm-hmm.
Is that back feed? uh, shoot. Another woman that I've seen. She's a great actress, but she kind of fits this role a little bit too. Is oh, what's that woman's name? She played in that movie where it was like set in like the 50s, and she liked another girl.
Is it?
Kate Blanchett.
Oh, okay.
She's kind of like that too, because most of the time you see her play dramatic roles.
What about Mila Jovovich?
Mila Jovovich, she's diverse, but she mostly does action.
Hmm.
But if you like see go through some of her like her go through her portfolio, she's done drama, she's done romance and comedy and stuff too.
Hmm.
But she mostly is known for her action. Because I've been, following. She's one of my favorites. I've always been following up on her, but I saw this movie called The Fourth Kind, and it was like a sci-fi drama where her family was getting messed with by these aliens, and it's supposedly based off of real events. So she was kind of reenacting it,
Hmm.
but she was doing the tears. She was, she's doing all that stuff, and I'm like, she's a good actress.
I mean, a lot of actors and actresses can do that. You just gotta. Sometimes, you can look at them and be like, I can't see them playing that role, even though they're playing it. It's not. It don't feel real to you. To the viewers that's watching it, to the, they gotta do this big old acting thing. You have to make them believe it. I don't believe it.
Cause think about one of my all-time favorites, Kate Beckinsale. Good in action, but she's good at everything else too. One of the most, and she did this scene in the movie so good, which is why I keep telling you to watch it. New Total Recall, well not the newest, remake or
Mm.
reboot, whatever. In it, she played the Mrs. Quaid thing, and she was comforting him because he's like, okay, this is not right. These motherfuckers try to kill me and all this stuff.
Mm.
And in one scene, and it wasn't like they did any transition or anything. She was hugging him, and you see her facial expressions, her like physical and facial expression change from I'm his loving wife to I have to kill him. And she was just like looking at the camera while she was doing it, and I was like, that's good acting. I'm like, she sold me on that part.
Hmm.
And she sold me on that part. But she's really good at action. But you see all these other movies she's played. She does drama. She does comedy. She does romance. She's good at all of it. See that's a person. And I'll even sit down and watch. I'm like, okay, I know it's her, but she's actually doing a good job with the character. One of my favorite performances she gave was, remember, she was playing that movie where she was in an insane asylum and she kept getting the shakes.
Uh,
Stonehurst Asylum.
Havenhurst?
No, state. It was Stonehurst.
Really?
Yeah, remember it was set kind of like.
I remember the movie. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So like with that one, she was acting vulnerable, and that right there was hilarious when she kept doing it. I'm sorry.
Okay.
It had a really good twist at the end too. I did not see that coming. But and we was talking. Me and Kim was talking about it. We was talking about The Rock.
Hmm.
The Rock. A lot of times with The Rock, he either plays an actiony type role, so like so he's a good tough guy, or he plays like this kind of general role where it's like, okay, just be The Rock.
I mean that's what I hate to say it, but that's what he's known for. I mean, he can be, put him like in an adventure type role, but he was like, I got to have some action somewhere. It's like he just needs it.
Cause think
Like
about
all the Fast and the Furious movies.
a lot of movies that he play in, he acts just like that. He just like Hobbs. He acts just like Hobbs. Now, one of the movies he did play in, I was like, okay, he's going ham in, was that movie Faster. Because in that one, he was a stone cold killer.
Yeah, but it was action, right?
I mean, it was, but when you watch it, you like, okay, this ain't him trying to fight some bad guy. No, it's like this dude's like, I'm killing people. Like I don't care. Like you my target, I'm going for you.
Mm.
He was like dead serious. And then it did that thing where every time he walked, you could hear him walk. It doesn't matter where he was, all you heard was do do do. I was like, damn. So like, even though it was an actiony movie, the actual character itself that he played was like wasn't really like what you see in one of the movies. Because you think about it, The Rock don't ever play bad guys either, really.
A little bit, but not as much as he played good guys.
Because the only movie I've seen him play a bad guy in, he wasn't really a bad guy in the movie. He was just a killer. Um, I guess you could say the Scorpion King. Nah, it was a good guy in that one.
Yeah, cause and then but after that it was I don't
I don't really know.
know. Okay, what about Idris Elba?
Idris Elba kind of plays like a know-it-all type. Now he's been diverse too, cause he played in that one movie where he was like a stalker.
Mm-hmm.
That remember the lady invited him in, let him in his house because it was raining. I
Ah,
didn't see it,
I haven't seen that one.
but he tends to play like authoritative type characters too a lot. I would like to see him kind of change up now. Cause think about it, even The Office, he was a serious authoritative character.
Yeah, he was a dick.
Nah, Michael was a jackass. He deserved every bit of
No,
that
I'm just
flip that
saying
Britain.
he played a dick on there. There was no reason at all for him to do any of that. It was the way he acted. Good actor, but no, not for that. He was just
And in fact, the guy that plays Dwight, most of the time I see him, he's playing goofy roles. Now, when we watched that one movie Shimmer Lake,
mm-hmm.
okay, that changed it up. The movie where he plays Super, I think it's called Super, where he kind of dressed. It's like he tried to be a superhero.
Mm-hmm.
It was him playing him, but it was pretty dark. It's a pretty dark movie because there was a lot of people that died in that movie. Uh, and then you think about characters like Michael Cera, Jesse Eisenberg, Justin Long. What's that? The fat dude who used to be fat, but he ain't fat no more.
Jack Black.
Uh. Well, you can say Jack Black too. Seth Rogen. They all typically play.
Stoners.
Yeah, it's either stoners or like Jesse Eisenberg, and Michael Cera. They always play timid characters. Like if somebody
Yeah.
throw like a shoe at the wall, they're like, and you like
Yeah.
really? The only reason I liked him in Scott Pilgrim was, even though he kind of played that, I mean, he did play that, he was actually fighting. Um, and that's why they had the big backlash in Batman versus Superman that Jesse Eisenberg was playing Lex Luthor. Lex Luthor's not that type of character. He's like a very serious, like I know.
Oh, so that was him playing. Okay, let's see. Okay.
Now, and the reason why a lot of people didn't like it was some of that timidness stuff that Jesse Eisenberg tends to do did get related to the character, where
Mm-hmm.
he felt like he was unsure or he was stumbling over his words and stuff. And it's like, yeah, Lex, don't do that.
Mm-hmm.
Now, this is what I was thinking. At first, I was like, yeah, okay, the performance, but I said, no, I'm going to give it this. Lex Luthor in this is younger than what he's normally portrayed as.
Mm-hmm.
This gives him time to evolve into that character that everybody knows and loves. Just give the guy a chance.
Yeah, but still, he knows that there's business to take care of. He don't need to be all timid and you know loose with his feelings. He need to be hard, even as
No,
a.
he was like he
I'm just
was
saying, but you said the character of the man who played him.
kind of like when he was. It was like one scene he was talking because he did manage to he got into some of those places, but it was that one part he was talking at the mic and he was like, um, he was like stumbling over his words and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But you would think the way the movie portrayed him as he was kind of like a shut in, and he was kind of eccentric a little bit. So that, and I'm like, okay, I could kind of get that, but then when it did come down to it, he did start getting into that Lex Luthor role, but the movie didn't really give him enough to actually show him. Like when he did bad stuff, you like, okay, he's starting to be that Lex Luthor a little bit, but he didn't get the full opportunity to.
Mm-hmm.
What's the guy? Something Ganakfez, Galifianakis,
Zach.
Zach Galifianakis. He tends to do the same role too. He's always like this bumbling idiot type guy. So it's like, come on now, you can only do it so much before people get tired out of you doing it.
Yeah.
Especially if you're doing a series. So like with Mila Jovovich, she's done action like the last 10 years, mainly through Resident Evil. The next movie she gets into, she don't need to do action. She need to stay off action for a while. But of course, she's going to be in Monster Hunter, so action
Yeah.
aboard. But it's like, okay, when do you need to switch gears? And one thing I like to say is for those who like the Expendables is one of them series that's giving all of those people that chose one lane, giving them a shot to their final shot.
Yep. Because they're expendables. They get hurt on set.
Cause think about Arnold. A lot of people like Arnold. Arnold carried the '80s and '90s with nothing but action films. And
Yeah.
then he got out of it, and then he came back, and he started doing some action, but some of it transitioned well, like The Last Stand. I like that movie. Of course, he's older and stuff. Terminator. When they brought him back for the newest Terminator, it made sense because they showed an older version of him, and the older version is his current version now, and then they
Mm-hmm.
showed like the younger version. But like him, I think he's doing a decent job of transitioning from action because he's getting to a little bit more dramatic roles. The Sixth Day was still one of my favorite movies. Kind of cheesy, but it's
Yeah,
one of my
I like
favorites.
that one.
Maggie, I like that movie. It showed him have more like a dramatic flair to him. I hadn't really seen most of his new stuff now. I think the last movie I seen him in it was Sabotage.
Uh,
And that movie, he was an asshole. Like all the characters are assholes. Brad Pitt is another kind of one of those actors that's like
well,
he's like it's kind of hard to kind of separate him from the character because he's very diverse. So it's like okay, that's what I mean to say. It's like you know how you say if you're not a master, if you're a jack of all trades, you're not a master. You're not a master of none of them.
mm-hmm.
So if you play an action role, and every time after a while, every time you go see a movie, an action movie, you're not seeing the character, you're seeing the person playing it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, some actors kind of have that ability. No matter what role they play, you still gonna see them. So Brad Pitt's kind of one of those. If it's a comedy, if it's a romance, if it's action or drama, no matter, yeah, he's a good actor. He manages to sell that role, especially if the role has unique qualities to it. But he's like, yeah, it's still kind of Brad Pitt, but he's still doing a freaking good job.
Like, what about Johnny Depp and Tom Cruise?
Yeah, Tom Cruise is too much action. He doesn't do enough. Like when he was younger, it seems like he did more dramatic and comedy. But after like a certain point, like after like the '90s, he just went straight action most of this stuff.
Mm.
And then with Johnny Depp, he always plays eccentric ass characters, and it's always and everybody says it's always a refresher when you see him play dramatic or
Mm-hmm.
pick a different role. But come on, what is he most notable for? Um, Ichabod Crane, Edward Scissorhands, Jack Sparrow is mostly his more eccentric. The movie Transference, Translucence,
Transcendent.
Transcendence. I hate that garbage pail of a movie. The movie was fucking stupid.
Okay.
But I actually liked him in the movie because he actually played this like a serious character. Wasn't him doing all of this. You know what I'm saying? But nothing stupid. So I really appreciated that about him as well. I really did. You looking at me like that, for? Oh, what do you think about Halle Berry?
uh,
I think she's pretty diverse.
well, let me see.
Cause,
I really can't say right now. I'm trying to picture some of her movie like without um
alright, let's go down this Boomerang, Monsters Ball. What's the movie where she was like this cop? This emergency
Yeah.
operator.
Mhm.
Cloud Atlas, which I didn't get to see. What's the one movie? Bullworth. I love that movie with her in it.
Mm.
What else?
Catwoman.
Catwoman. Then she was in Die Another Day. That was pretty cool. She played in the James Bond movie. She played in damn it, Swordfish.
Okay. You know, that you named a couple of them. Okay.
So yeah, she was in a thriller. I guess you could say a spy. She's been in an action superhero. See, I like her. That's like one of the things I can give to her. She's actually been in all of these really diverse roles. Morris Chestnut is a fantastic actor. I want to see him in more diverse stuff too.
Mhm.
I like Martin Lawrence. Although he does like try to stick to comedy now,
Yeah.
I like him when he's doing other things. Uh, Now, when I say other things, I'm talking about Bad Boys, but outside of that,
Okay. Let's just hope.
like I like Sanaa Lathan because she was in AVP, but most of the time you see her play like dramatic roles. You see her do like urban movies and stuff like that. Love and Basketball. Um, what's that other one where
The Napoli Ever After.
I don't want to see that. That seems stupid. I mean, it seems like a dramatic role, but I'm like that seems really stupid. One of my favorite actresses, Regina Hall. She does this. She kind of does Tiffany Haddish a little bit, but not as much. She was like in a scary movie,
Mhm.
but she was like the loud ghetto chick.
Mhm.
But then you see her in other movies where she's not doing that. Like she was in. You ever see that movie, Citizen, Law Abiding Citizen?
No, I don't think.
Or did you see Best Man
Yeah.
when she was the stripper? Love that scene. But I like how she's pretty diverse with that too. What do you think about Gerard Butler?
From Phantom. I've only that's all I've seen him in Phantom.
Well, he was the guy in Law Abiding Citizen. He was in Dracula 2000 as Dracula, which I give it to him. He was a handsome Dracula. Um, he was in this movie Gamer. He was in Olympus Has Fallen. Fallen. I hadn't seen Olympus Has Fallen, but I did see London Has Fallen. He does tend to play like kind of badass. He does play a lot of badass characters too. Like I'm badass. Then you got. I mean, there's a lot we can. There's a lot of people to talk about. Well, all right, let me ask you this then. While we are not closing arguments, of course. Um, when should a person, if you've played a X amount of, like right now, Mila Jovovich, when should she stop doing action roles?
Well, I only it's like started knowing about it from the Resident Evil series. So, and after that, I saw her in wasn't that a like a thriller movie or what was it? Someone else?
Which one?
It was like the Disappointment Room. Was that her, or was it some the other one?
No, that was Kate Beckinsale.
You sure?
Yeah, she had blonde hair.
I thought that was Mila Jovovich. Oh, okay. Well, yeah, I really can't say her, but I think after.
Because think about it, Mila Jovovich was doing Resident Evil for 2002 to 2016. Now she's done movies in between,
Yeah,
but
I don't know. I mean, it's kind of tough to say, for me, really.
because like right now, Rock is going to play one more Fast and the Furious movie that we know of at least.
Well he should have been stopped because I know a little bit about his. Yeah, he's like really all action, and he never can seem to get his cuff buttoned. I always taking a picture like this.
You know what? He has done one different role, Maui. Not to mention, we learned he could sing. I,
I mean, still with Maui, he was still all, you know, I can pick up the heavens and set them down.
the coconuts.
So,
No, I'm gonna get into it. This is, I don't know. I think if you're playing a series, once you play that series, break away from that role and do something different. If you've been playing a role for X amount of time, like right now, Jason Statham, dude, you're a good action guy. Everybody loves you. Kind of stay back a little bit from it. I mean, or do it in your youth, but after a certain point, stop. Because like all the stuff that he can do is because he's kind of not. He ain't young. The guy's like what 40 something.
yeah.
So it's like okay, if you make 50, you might want to start wrapping it up. Stop being James Bond and start being the guy to tell James Bond where he's supposed to go. Go pass on the torch. You know what I'm saying? Um, I think if you're in the comedy, uh, if you're a comedy, put out I think maybe two funny movies, put out a serious movie, two funny movies, then a serious movie. Don't funny because then a lot of times that make what makes people unique. It gets old because it seems like the next movie that you do, you start to do those same things.
Mhm.
Like we were saying about Kevin Hart
Mm.
being loud and stupid and bumbling worked for like his first two movies, but it's like okay, you're doing the same thing in this movie. You're doing the exact same thing in this movie. You're doing the same thing in this movie. That's like your shtick. Be stupid. Um, and like I said, I really do like Angela Bassett. It what's her girl that played Misery?
Kathy Bates.
Like Kathy Bates too. I think with her, she's pretty diverse because a lot of times she plays serious roles, but at the same time she can play a lot of like when she played Misery, she was crazy.
Mm.
What's the other one? Dolores Claiborne. She
Mm.
was like more vulnerable. You know what I mean? Like as
Yeah.
being an abused wife, and then she was in the office.
Mhm.
She's in this other series where she like smoking weed and stuff.
Yeah.
So she's pretty diverse too. I like her for that. She's really diverse. I mean, there's a lot of actors and actresses that we could continue talking about this, but we want to make the video too long, even though it's almost twice as long as it should be. But anyways, any other closing thoughts?
No.
All right, damn, that was quick. But anyways,
And then we draw it out. No.
all right then, guys. In the comment section below, let us know what your thoughts about some talented actors and actresses and when they should kind of call it quits on doing the same specific role that they're good at or what we've settled for them to be in. And be sure to hit that like, share, subscribe, and that notification button to get the best of what's going on this channel. And we'll definitely catch you guys later. Narik and Madam B out.